Guys, I don't know if I got good sound coming on, so we're going to check the sound here in a moment. As you look at the today's taste, I don't know if we've done this one before. We have done a couple of ALEC Bradley Project 40 cigars before. I know we did the Habano. I think we did the Connecticut. I'm not positive. I don't think we did this Maduro. So if I am duplicating myself, please excuse me. Don't worry about it. We're still going to review it. In any case, give me a second here. You see. Yeah, there we go there. See if we are live and we have some sound, guys. Anybody in the chat? Anybody there? No one's in the chat to confirm if we got the sound going, but that's what we're gonna have today. I already drank me 3 of these things. This is the best flavored ale that I've ever had. So for me, it's a 10. I'm not even big into these flavored ales, but this thing tastes like what it's supposed to, and it is yummy, yummy, delicious, yummy goodness. It is so good, so refreshing, so tasteful, goes good with food, goes good with cigars. For sure, a 10-10-10 right out the gate. Pipeworks here in Chicago, doing it big, doing it really good. I mean, just a superb blend that works, right? Like a lot of these, flavored beers just don't work for me. The bubblegum style or the marshmallow. Let me make sure that I'm getting some sound here. Nobody's in the chat, so no one could actually kick down and let me know, hey, yo, yeah, you got sound. Yeah, my computer is going slow as usual. If anyone, please, in the chat, somebody join. Let me know that I got sound so I'm not wasting all this time. This thing never works well in terms of its sound, but let's see here. I just came back from Costa Rica, another great trip. Going to be traveling again very soon to other places. We didn't go live. I didn't do the live thing there. I could have. I guess I had Wi-Fi. It just wasn't in the right context, I guess, or in the right spot, or I didn't bring the tripod. Again, a lot of reasons why I didn't go live, but I didn't go live. Wasn't a priority. I'm sorry it hasn't been a priority, guys, to go live with all this. I've missed a couple of events, and it would have been a good event for me. I've done well with these England events. I would have bet against Molly McCann this time out. I would definitely not have bet against Aspinall, even though he had that knee repair. The guy is a talent, and Marcin Tybura just wasn't going to present any real strong challenge to him on the feet or even in the wrestling department. Marcin is good, but he's not just that top level guy yet. As you see here, I'm out. I don't have the tent anymore. The storms took away the tent. So we shattered down the tent. A quick watch check. I have my Dunhill faceted tank watch. Had this for over 20 years now. I paid just about $1,000 for it. It probably is worth about the same right now. It's a tank watch, as you see. It is not a integrated bracelet. It has this stainless steel bracelet, which I've had polished. Sapphire crystal. I broke the crystal once and got it repaired. And you see it's faceted. It's a faceted tank watch. Sapphire crystal. Alfred Dunhill, one of my favorite pieces. I've had this for a long time. One of the few luxury items I've managed to keep and not sell over time. I don't know why this one over other ones, and I think a lot of it has to do that I worked for Dunhill, so I wanted to preserve something from that time, so I never let go of this watch. What is nice about it is that you see it's a very low profile. It's not very heavy. It just is a beautiful watch. It's an eye catcher, at least for me. But yeah, let's see here, guys. I'm dying to have the horchata beer, but I don't even know if I'm getting any sound here. Nobody joins me. No one's on my channel. But for all those that do join me here, you are about better. I really appreciate you guys. Even what little time that you do spend watching these videos. No one's in the comment section, but I appreciate if you do watch these videos, you listen to it in the shower, you listen to it in your car, appreciate your time, and you are about better. And I'm hoping that you learn a little bit about MMA gambling, that you've won some money on my picks. I know a lot of people say that guy's lost him thousands of dollars, but at least as a consolation, maybe you are learning about, am I getting, okay, I am getting sound. All right, cool. I am getting sound. I think I hear it. Yeah, I hear it. All right, cool. And I could barely see the TV or the unit here to look at like picks and stuff like that. So guys, bear with me. As always, we're having always little technical issues, but besides the technology, we don't need to have technology to enjoy a beer like this. Look at that. It's with rice, lactose, vanilla, and cinnamon. Like, this thing is so friggin' yummy, guys. This beer tastes like an horchata, and if you guys don't know what an horchata is, it exactly what is in that description. It's a little vanilla. It's sort of a rice milk drink. Great for hangovers, excellent with food, very refreshing and filling at the same time. So look at that beautiful golden color. Like, look at that color. That's just a beautiful color for an ale, and it tastes like horchata. Has that beautiful cinnamon, that excellent vanilla hint to it. Just excellent, just beautiful. Look how nice it looks at the watch. You know, when the watch goes to pick up the glass. Beautiful, nice and shiny. Oh my God, that is so fucking good. I should have went back to Benny's and grabbed more of these today. I just didn't have the time. Went to go and get a haircut. Let's see here, boom. You can see me. Hey, what's up, people? Welcome, Bow Betters. Man, I look like shit even though I got a haircut, man. Just look ugly. I look ugly on camera. I'm a lot more handsome in person, believe me. Ladies, believe me. Ladies love Lopez. L Cool J, but L Cool L. But yeah, today we're gonna smoke this. I've been not really dying to smoke this particular cigar. Admittedly, I have some others. I bought right now. Benny's has La Aurora cigars in the Bellicoso size that I paid $4 a piece. I bought a whole box of those, man. It's a Cameroon wrapper cigar from La Aurora for under $5. It's actually, those that I bought today or yesterday were $4.05 a piece. So best under $5 cigar that I could have found out there. So I bought a box of them, committed to them, just gonna sit on them, you know, just let them get older, let them get more flavorful. I'll probably smoke one in the next year or two, maybe not. I've committed myself a little bit to when I find that cigar and that price like that, and the other one that even though it's like a $11, $12 cigar, is a Plasencia 149, that cosecha cigar. I smoked another one of those during my trip in Costa Rica, and I'll tell you what, that is the best smoking cigar that I've had in years. Even at the price point at $11 or $12 cigar for a Robusto, well worth it. I'm all over it. So I'm buying more of those. I did buy bought a handful, like 5 of them yesterday. A little pricey, as I mentioned, at $11, $12 a piece, but another cigar that I'm just going to sit on. I'm just going to let those for a special occasion, probably have them with one of my best friends at some point, at a wedding, maybe a funeral. It's going to be a special occasion for me to bust those out. But if you need an inexpensive smoke, this is it too. Like, this is just about a $6 cigar, these Project 40s. I forget what there's something there on the writing that I'm not going to be able to get. I'm not going to be able to get my glasses out right now for them. Maybe later on in the show, we will welcome who's ever the first person in here, the first person in the chat. One person is watching. One person in the chat. Oh my God, what a record. What a record. I got one person in there. So, you know, this is a very affordable smoke. It's an experimental series from ALEC and Bradley, there is, I mean, guy is doing ALEC and Bradley is just better than his father. It's just, the new age cigars are the shit right now. There's no way. I explained this to you last time we did this. You're not getting a better smoke than what you could find in Nicaragua, Ecuador, Honduras, Cameroon. The product that's coming out of Cuba, it is not as good as this product here. I haven't really tasted this one yet. It doesn't smell, nor does it look like a Maduro. It doesn't have that chocolatey appearance to it. It doesn't have the deep oils that I tend to normally love. But the price point was right. I believe I've had one of these before. We've reviewed it before. And it probably wasn't a bad smoke. So we're just for the price. And also, I have an ex Espinosa Crema, which I think was a lot higher in a price point. I didn't want to bring out one of the Cameroon Bellicosos because I had a couple of those. I had one recently, so I didn't want to have a smoke that I had recently. So if this is a round 2 in terms of a sampling of this cigar, then so be it. Let's see. Let me pop out the chat, guys. Let me pop out the chat. Take it easy there. In fact, yeah, let me do this. Let me get my hands free. Yeah, it's super hot out here, guys. Oh. All right, I got to do that. Come on, chill. Daddy, chill. Daddy, chill. Whoa, don't want to do that. Come on. Come on. Daddy, chill. Daddy, chill. Daddy, chill. All right. Man, next week card, guys, fucking fantastic card. Like, looking ahead to these fights, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje 2, Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira. Man, fucking awesome fights. Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green, Chiesa versus Holland, Bonfim versus Trevin Giles, Derek Lucas versus Marco Rodrigo de Lima. I mean, just those fights alone right there, I mean, are just fantastic. Any of those could have been like one of these UFC Fight Night headliners. Any of those right there, any of those fights could have been a headliner. Oh, God damn it. This fucking technology here, guys. I'm not with it. I don't even want to wait. Come on. Where are we at here? This is some bullshit. I'm not going to worry about it, guys. I'm not going to fret over trying to get what's in the chat, although I'd like to read a chat if someone is actually in there. Let's see if I could get there. I'm in the hot sun, got the beer going. Let's see, come on. Yeah, it's taken a while, people. It's taken a while, and I'm not going to bother with it. I'm not going to fight the power. Fight the power. Yeah, it's going to just take too long to get to where I need to go with this. Pop out the chat. Let's see this thing. Come on. No one chatted anyways. Come on, you piece of shit. There you go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, guys, hit up the comment section. As always, if you made it this far, you are about better. Yeah, this is taking a while. I'm just going to smoke a cigar and just enjoy myself, enjoy this beer before. Somebody in there? No? Yeah, this thing is just whatever. So, new little device I got, and I recommend this thing. This thing was less than $1, and I got it from Vinny's for $1. It's a V cutter, and despite how cheap it is, it's sort of a no-brainer for cutting cigars because it has that little divot there, right? You see that little divot, which is perfect. You just put the cigar in that divot, right? Squeeze it in there, and it's a no-brainer. It makes that nice little V cut for you. And what I do with these is I do the cross V, but I push it in there a little bit, boom, and I get that cut, the cross cut, which is sick. It's gonna work for me. Can't complain. For fucking $1, this cutter is doing that cross cut. And you see that we didn't have to take much off the cap. It took nothing off the cap. Well, we're getting a little bit of a tight draw. It's not super easy of a draw, but not horrible. It looks like, come on, people. Yeah, I need that canopy back. It's hard to see anything. It's also pretty deathly uncomfortable out here in the heat. Yeah, and a new computer, man. This thing is just, I'm about to, I've had it with this, this computer. It's done me really good, and I have been cheap with it. Just I haven't brought myself to like invest in one. You know what I mean? It just, I haven't justified. I could buy so much other shit. I could use the phone to do this. No one's really watching. I don't really care about the viewership. You know, the channel is what it is. You know, it just hasn't been, you know, I haven't just been motivated to do it. So until that's the case, I'm still going to use this poor technology here. A little windy, takes away the lighter. Yeah, so this beer is pretty fantastic. I love its flavors. You know, you can drink a whole 4 of it. It really is a beer to accompany like a cigar. It's a beer to get you started if it's like first beer that you're having of the day. It's very refreshing. Gotta be patient. I'm not patient lately these days. You know, lately I haven't been as patient as I normally want to be. A little frustrated with just certain things. I don't know what I'm frustrated about, but I haven't been patient. Yesterday I was a lot more patient with the cigar. Today I'm not as patient. It just isn't happening for me. I just want a little wind here. That's why those butane lighters that are torches are really good, because they sustain themselves in this outdoor wind. I honestly don't mind smoking cigars outdoors. I prefer not to. I prefer indoor cigars. Even though we do our show outdoor primarily, I do prefer indoor smoking. What I think I'm going to do, guys, so I don't use so much gas. Oh, no, there we go. It's a little lull in the wind. I was about to go and get some cedar strips and light it with the cedar. There we go. A little lull in the wind doesn't hurt. Again, it's the Project 40 Maduro. I don't know if we've had this one before. I don't think so. Nice. It has that light sweetness, guys. Not a heavy oil, not a heavy chocolate, but that light sweetness. Very nice. Goes well with this beer. Let's have a little bit of the beer. It's so hot out here, the beer got warm already. Crazy. The beer tastes so much like horchata, you almost want to put ice in it. You know, it is just like horchata, just so good. But what a card ahead of us, huh, guys, this week? That's got to be one of the best cards in a while. Like, just the fights that I mentioned to you guys, Chiesa Holland, Wonderboy Pieta, Diego Lima versus Derek Lewis. It could have been, all of those could have been a Friday night headline fight. And then you got, you know, main event of Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. Not bad. Lots of earth, a little more leather. Again, in my Maduros, and maybe this is just maybe, you know, maybe I have to accept that over time, or just haven't found that right Maduro that has that deep chocolate or cacao, deep coffee that I prefer in my Maduros. I just have to find that one, and I just haven't lately. Maybe it's a unicorn, like it just doesn't exist in that way anymore. And product, it is a finite product. Product does change, you know. So when you find what you like, if you find something like that Cameroon Aurora I found it and I smoked it like in a Churchill size, and then I came back to Vinny's from vacation, and I asked the guy in the humidor. That's the other thing I also asked. Like, man, those clearance ones you had last of the case, at, you know, those Auroras are fantastic. He's like, well, I got some of the Bellicosos left, and they were like $4 a piece. They were originally like $8. And there I say the Bellicosos were actually a better ring gauge. They were thicker. The tobacco actually looked better because on a lot of the Bellicosos or torpedoes, sometimes the better, you know, some rollers might actually use some of the better tobacco on those. So right out the gate, you know, I was gonna buy the box, and I was like, oh, I cheaped out. I'm like, you know, just give me 10 of them. And then as I'm walking back out the car and I'm putting the, you know, looking at the cigars and just looking at my receipt, and looking at what I purchased, and I was like, you know what? Let me go back in there. Hey, dude, let me get 5 more. I go back in there, buy 5 more, and I'm at the register, and I'm like, you know what? I should just buy them all. It doesn't make any sense for me. I'm buying the whole box. So I went back to the guy after I bought the 10 and the 5. And I'm like, give me the other 10, man. Just get it. I'm buying them all. So I put them just all back in the box, bought the whole box. And I would say that's like the first box of cigars I bought in a while. Because I buy individual cigars, I like an assortment. I mean, that's what's great about cigars, people, is like, well, like beer, especially like in Latin America, and even at your Binnies, they could sell you an individual beer if they wanted to. Like, they could sell you an individual beer, and they do. In those mix packs, they're essentially selling you an individual beer. So, I mean, other than beer, I mean, cigars are one of those products where variety is not just the spice of life. You have that ability to buy. You could buy fucking 100, and you go into Binnies or order online and order 30 different cigars, right? And not make a bad decision. All of them could be good, but you could order like 30 different cigars. It's the best hobby, or one of the better activities that you have for yourself, or even if you want to call it a sin or a bad habit, addiction. It's one of the better ones you have, because there is varieties of spice of life. You could have a Maduro today, you could smoke a Naturale tomorrow or tonight. You could have an Honduran, you could have an Ecuadorian, you could have an African cigar, you could have something made here in the States, you could have something with a Mexican wrapper like the Plasencia that I enjoy. Like, you have variety. And sure, marijuana is going to have its variety too. There are going to be things that perishables that have it, like even wine will have it. But I still don't think it touches anything against the variety that you have in tobacco, in cigar tobacco, because you have a variety of flavors that are very, very, very distinguished. Yeah, locations, nations, blends. You could do a lot with the whole cigar thing. You cannot get bored with a cigar. I mean, that's another reason why, again, today I didn't want to have another one of the La Aurora cigars because I had one the other day, right? I wanted to just be separated from that flavor, even though the price point's good, and I could have smoked it with you guys to let you know of a good cigar that's at that $4 price point. $4 right now on sale. La Aurora at Binny's, guys. Go and jump on it if you can find it. I also bought a couple of Hoyo de Monterrey Naturales, even though they look like Maduros. Hoyo de Monterrey used to make the best Maduros for the money. They come in a bundle, so not even a box. You buy those bundles and you put them in your humidor and you forget about them. And guys, you can make your own cheap humidor out of old cigar box. You can use Tupperware. Anything with just a little humidity. Always a good idea to get, guys, is when you go to the cigar shops, ask them for if they have any of the cedar strips that line the boxes and that separate the cigars. Ask if they have any extra of those. And those are always good to put in the Tupperware. They're good to put in the cigar boxes that you do buy. If you could buy like a $2 cigar box. I did that. It was a beautiful, who was the maker of the box? I want to say, oh no, I forget the name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue because they make really good, Olivia. Olivia Cigars makes a beautiful box. Spanish cedar, you can smell the cedar coming from the box. The box itself is pretty, but I just like the quality of cedar and how thick it was. It was a very thick box, so I chose that one over some of the other ones because it's not only protective, it just is a very thick cedar that's going to age well. It's going to let something stay there for over time. So even though I bought like the La Aurora cigars in their entire box, and I have that box is cedar, but it's lined with vinyl of the packaging, so it's not quite the same. I took them out of that box and I put them into the La Olivia box, which is a better quality box, and I put them in there I just makeshift a humidification unit. I grabbed one of my shop towels with a little distilled water, wet it into the distilled water, left the towel out a little bit. I poked a bunch of holes in the plastic bags that I get my individual or a group of cigars with at Binny's, like the little Ziploc bags. I just take a needle, poke a bunch of little holes into that bag, like a ton, just a ton. Let the rag sort of air out, so I can't even squeeze it dry, or it feels like it's not even damp or it's almost dry. Put that thing in there, put that on top of 2 layers of cedar at the top of the box, close up the box, forget about it. Don't even look at the box for another fucking, look at it in a few days, make sure no water is really coming through, that it isn't getting too humidified, and just forget about it for a year or two. Forget about it. Yeah, I got to the point where, I got a couple, I have some vintage cigars that I got to just let alone. I got a couple Cubans that we got from Costa Rica with them. But we got those vintage cigars that I just got to let alone. I got that box of La Auroras that I just got to sit on with a couple of those Plasencias that I'm just going to let be. I don't anticipate seeing those Plasencias, nor even those Auroras for another year. I'll let that box just sit there. It'll sit there, and then I'll buy another, I've planned on making a humidor. I got that cabinet that I can make a humidor out of. I don't really see the necessity, as I don't buy or don't have that large collection, or am I dealing in cigars anymore where I'm buying and selling them and needing to make sure that I have them in a premium, optimum sort of condition. So I got them in these boxes with my makeshift humidification, working fine for me, not spending a fortune on any humidors, not like building anything, but it's my dog screaming in the background. No one's in the chat. No one's mentioned anything. I got anything in the chat? No one's in the chat, I don't think. Do I got sound? Do I even have sound? Shit. Sound? Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. You gotta be kidding me. I have no sound this whole time? Sound? Sound check. Okay, I got sound. Sound check. No one in the chat. No viewership. Well, you know, that's what happens when your picks suck. When everybody goes broke. You don't go woke, you go broke. You go listen about better, you go broke. You know, I'm going to make a pick. Hopefully, Wonderboy Thompson is an underdog against Pieta. And I'm going to take Wonderboy Thompson unless Pieta decides he wants to try to grapple. Wonderboy's got the experience. He's got the more unique style. He's got the composure. Pieta is not the brightest of fighters. He gasses big time. Wonderboy's been in these 5-round fights for the most part of most of his career now. So he's headlined these big fights before, and this is going to be a 3-rounder, which I think hurts him. I think if it were a 5-rounder, I definitely would be on Wonderboy because I think he could easily steal rounds 4 and 5 on points. I don't see a finish in this particular fight. It can happen. Pieta's a big guy for sure, big guy. But you guys saw me standing next to him. It wasn't that big when I was next to him. Yeah, so that's my bold prediction. Come on. Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. Come on. Computer shut down. Computer got hot and shut down. Interesting. Yeah, there's a little heat there. So I don't know if you guys hear me or not. I can't look at any of the stats or anything else on these other fights. Gaethje, Poirier, I think it's another one that's going to go the full five. Both guys got astounding output, great cardio, great chins. Both of them got great chins. I see a war again. unless Gaethje decided to wrestle, which he isn't going to do. He isn't going to wrestle. He's going to stand and bang with him. I think that I lean slightly on Justin Gaethje in this one because I think he can take the more damage, and he has this slight power edge, very, very ever so slight, and he's just got that killer instinct and that never quit in him that I think he's just going to outpoint Dustin, especially if he wrestles. Gets him down, does some ground and pound. I think it's an easy means of victory for him to wrestle, which he's not going to do. He's not going to do it. Even against Viziev, didn't do it, right? Like, it's just an easy thing for him to do is, like, try some wrestling, mix it up, get some control time, get some ground and pound going. That's the same, like, Tiefer, Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green. Easy path to victory, the ankle pick. I mean, Bobby Green's got great takedown defense, but we saw once he is on the ground, he gives up. He's going to give up. He will remain lax in that position. And Tony Ferguson's wrestling is underrated wrestling. He just doesn't use it. You don't see it enough. I think he should go and try to implement his wrestling, which he won't. He's not going to do it either. It's going to be another one of those fights where I think you have to lean dog on Bobby Green. If Bobby Green's a dog, you have to go dog in that particular match. I think a lot of these got to go dog, except probably in Kevin Holland, Chiesa. I think Holland's the favorite. I think you have to go dog. Chiesa's jiu-jitsu is fucking phenomenal, dude. He can. If he gets you to the ground and he gets you in a certain position, he gets top position, that's it for Holland. Holland's getting submitted, right? So if that Chiesa number for sub is great, that's like what I'm going to play. Lately, guys, I've been playing the far cry or the long shot prop plays is what I've been playing. Like I would have been on Solorenko for the sub last week. I would have lost on my Aspinall by sub, prop probably, as well as my I've been riding Paul Craig sub every fucking time. Would have lost that, All right, guys, my dog is barking up a storm behind me. I know you guys can hear me. I don't even know if anybody's watching anymore. Honestly, don't give a shit. I don't actually want to be out here in the sun like this, kicking back either. I got to definitely get the tent back up or something over here because it's just too hot. Let me go get the dog, get another beer. Pipeworks HORCHATA, guys, fucking fire. So good, so yummy. Best beer, best flavored beer ever. Shut up. Barking up a storm. Oh, barking up a storm. All right, so when I'm not having one of our fine pale ales, I've gone back to the trusty old Modelo. I think it's the most drank beer now, dank beer in America. Mexican beer, #1 beer in Mexico and in America. Modelo, can't go wrong. think a lot of decisions on this card, except for like that fight with Lewis and Rodrigo Lima. I think Lima finishes Lewis. I think Rodrigo Lima has underrated grappling and wrestling. He's not really good at the submissions, but I think he's going to win by ground and pound. Lewis, we know, just cannot stuff a takedown that well once he gets taken down. In fact, even on the feet, Lewis is just a good hammer. He's either going to win by knockout or lose by knockout. Once he gets hit, he doesn't like it. He just crumbles. He folds like a lawn chair. And I think that's what's going to happen to him. Lima's got a decent chin. I think Lima's going to absorb those strikes. He's going to take down Lewis right away. I think a finish in the first or second round. I don't see it going 3, although it can, but I don't think so. I think Lima's going to take him down. He's going to get Lewis in sort of a half guard position. He's going to rain down punches, and he's going to win by tap out due to strikes. You know, like I think Lewis might tap before the ref separates him or his team throws in the towel. I think he's going to get pulverized by Rodrigo Lima big time. He's going to get knocked out himself. He's a good hammer, but not a good nail. And Lima can take those punches. Lima's got the grappling advantage. He can close distance. He's better in the clinch. I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to get the clinch. He's going to throw some knees, throw some punches, get Lewis off balance, take him down, and then once he's down, that's it. Lewis is not getting up. Rodrigo de Lima via TKO, ref stoppage, or tap out due to strikes. I wish you could bet that tap out due to strikes. You know what I mean? Like to bet that actual, like he's going to tap. I think Lewis got 1 foot out the door. If he's really smart, he gets on that TikTok thing. He gets on the Instagram thing, takes an acting class, gets into acting, gets on the commentator's table with his sense of humor, with his just raw commentary, like gets there and gets a job there, which I think that Kevin Holland is probably already eyeing. The computer either stopped again or the TV, I don't know. I don't even care. I'm not even going to worry about it. Hopefully you guys can hear me out. I'll look here in a second if you guys can. Let me. Yeah. Come on, you piece of junk. God, I hate this camera. Come on. It's supposed to rotate. Why am I upside down? Why is there only one person in the chat? All right. Come on, silly thing. Come on. Well, the computer came on. All right. It is what it is, guys. Not going to trip, not going to worry about it. Oh, shit. Come on. Yeah, no one else is in the chat from what I could tell. No one's participating. I don't have my computer to tell me what other fights there are. I know the Bone Fiends are in this particular card as well. I'm going to pick the Bone Fiend to win. Bone Fiend Brothers all the way. Yes, Holland. Ooh. I might go with Kiesa by sub. If that number is nice, man, that's a nice number. I'm taking Kiesa by sub. Kiesa's tough to finish. Super savvy veteran. He's not done. Wants to fight. Just a smart guy. Good, better wrestling. Longer than he looks. Like, he's going to be about the same size as Kevin Holland. People are going to like trip out that he's not smaller, although he might seem like he's smaller. He's actually a really big, long, lean guy, and his jiu-jitsu is just far light years ahead of Kevin Holland. And I think he could close the distance, get a simple trip, wraps Kevin Holland up in almost like a key lock to trip. Same thing, gets that sort of side control. Holland just doesn't want to fight it. He's trying to answer the phone. I can see it now. He's trying to answer the phone and then just goes to sleep doing that. And doesn't do enough to get back up off of his back. Doesn't fight off of his back. Doesn't try to shrimp or go into any position that's going to give him and get him in a worse place or worse position. Because if Kiesa gets an arm, like that back guillotine, you're done. If he gets you in that back guillotine, you're over. Right? I think that he's going to, get that side mount, get that top mount, side control. Guillotine is what I think he's going to finish by. So I'm on Kiesa by finish. Kiesa by the sub. I'm liking Ferguson against Bobby Green if he decides to wrestle. I'm liking that Ferguson sub. He hasn't gotten in one in a while, but his jiu-jitsu, I mean, he's got that 10th planet pedigree, great jiu-jitsu skills, great grappling, super flexible, very creative guy, but he's just going to stay on the feet. And if he stays on the feet, Bobby Green is going to win by decision. Right? If it stays in a kickboxing match, Bobby Green is going to light up Tony Ferguson bad. He's going to light him up bad. If Ferguson doesn't just take him down, tries for that submission, keeps some control time, tries some ground and pound, he will lose that fight if he keeps it on the feet. So I'm going to look at the numbers, not leaning strongly any way at all on this card. Lots of great options. Hit me up in the comments section for some of my actual picks. Like, nobody actually hits me up. You guys you guys want all the information. You want somebody to do all the work for you. And then when something goes wrong, you blame them, right? Like, guys, yeah, this is the Sip and Smoke show. I don't want to get bitter about that stuff. We're about the good times, the good vibes, good beer, good cigars, talking about MMA. A lot of, going back, a lot of these guys are going to do what we think they're going to do. I just don't see there being a ton of value, like in Pieta, for example, by the finish. I think Wonder Boy's really smart, great defense, can stay away, very lengthy. They're going to fight at that karate kick distance, which Pieta's going to enjoy too, right? Yes, can he catch Wonder Boy? Yes, but I think Wonder Boy's going to get him frustrated. Wonder Boy's not necessarily going to be quicker to the punch, but he's going to be better at his distance and at his measurement of length and speed, not speed per se, but his timing is going to be better. Like, everything Wonder Boy is going to be doing is going to have better timing, better precision. And that's why I picked Wonder Boy in this, because Pieta is just going to be wild. He's going to want that crazy finish. And this style is perfect for Pieta to get that finish, because Wonder Boy is going to stand right in front of him. But I don't think people give Wonder Boy's karate style enough credit. His karate is excellent. He's so proficient at it. He uses his length and range. His form is fantastic. The way he does his side kicks, but also that is it a saddle kick or reverse kick? The kick that he does, whereas he's like a cowboy. He stands in that bow-legged stance, and that back foot comes around so easily, like, you know, the wheelhouse kick or whatever you call it, comes around so easily, so naturally, and precise and quick, and then he defends himself so well, gets out of distance as he's sort of landing it almost. I mean, I just see Wonder Boy being the more precise, clean fighter out of the two, where Pieta's going to be enjoying that show and not realizing that he's losing on the cards, that he's losing those exchanges, even though he might have the more powerful kick or land the powerful strike. Wonder Boy's going to land 3 to his 1. And that's what I'm saying, that Wonder Boy's going to like counter him so well to land 2, and he might absorb one of them, and it's going to be flamboyant, which Pieta does, but it isn't going to be enough for him. Oh yeah, Blachowicz and Pieta, and that's going to be another good fight. You know, again, Jan Blachowicz, wrestle, dude, wrestle. What, you know, I think I was watching, even I've been watching a lot of the old Pride fights, and even guys like Mark Coleman, towards I would say the middle to end of his career, wanted to stand up for some reason. Like they wanted to pretend, okay, I'm going to strike a little bit, so then I can then wrestle. And then you watch these other good jiu-jitsu guys, like Renzo Gracie. Like he did what he was supposed to do. That fight started, he would throw 2 punches and try for a fucking takedown. Right away, close distance. He would jump, he would leap forward, he would leap across, even though it was telegraphed. He'd leap across, take a kick, take a fucking punch to the head to try to get that take. That's what you're supposed to do. That's your wheelhouse. That's what you're best at. That's what your pedigree is. And all these guys avoid their pedigree. Like, out of the money, out of the excitement. And Gaethje is the prototypical example of that. Because Gaethje's like, what? What were you like? Does he have the most bonuses in UFC history, or is that Oliveira? Who has the most UFC bonuses, fight night bonuses, and otherwise in history? Gaethje's percentage, though, is insane. Like, he gets a bonus like every time out. I think like maybe one of his fights he didn't get a bonus. Like, he's gotten like 11 bonuses out of 12 fights or something like that. He always fights for your money, and Dana appreciates him. And I see no different today. You know, look at Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel over there, like, yabber in his mouth, wanting Khamzat. Khamzat will light him up on the feet. Even if Bo goes to his wheelhouse, he hasn't gotten that. He hasn't had that the experience that Khamzat has in defending takedowns and utilizing his wrestling against the right people and at the right times. That's why Paul Craig called out Bo Nickel, because Paul Craig knows he's got him. Oh, you want to come down and grapple with me? Sure, I'll let you take me down. Paul Craig will submit him, he'll reverse him, or even off his back, Paul Craig will have the huge jiu-jitsu advantage that Bo Nickel won't know what hit him. Nickel is, I wouldn't say he's like Sean O'Malley, but I would say that he's better than Paddy Pimblett, but he's being protected. Like, Bo Nickel should just shut his mouth. Like, he should have went to fucking PFL or to Bellator and grabbed the bigger chunk of the pie. But he should just shut up, do his thing, get in there. Don't be taking photos with Trump. You know, don't do this like, oh, I'm calling this person out. Don't try to become that Twitter guy, because you're going to get eaten up, dude. Wrestling is important. It's like, you know, I'm strong with wrestling. I'm strong with it. But these guys that are just don't go to what, like, do you see Stephen Thompson fucking trying to wrestle anybody? No. The guy's smart enough. I gotta stay on my feet. That's my best tool, is to stay on the feet. Do you see Fiziev trying to fucking get to the ground? No. You know, you saw what happened to Conor McGregor when he tried to take it to the ground. Well, you're a wrestler now. You know, you saw what happened, right? Like, if you're not that well-rounded like the Diaz brothers and some of these other fighters like Charles Oliveira, you better question what you're doing. You know, like, you better stick to what you're strongest at. Stick to what you're best at. And all these UFC fighters do not. They want to become complete mixed martial artists, and I get it. That's what you need to do. You need to be a complete fighter, but it's always a somewhat chess game, and it's Also, styles make fights, right? Dustin Poirier has decent wrestling, but not great wrestling. Good defensive wrestling, but should have nowhere near the wrestling that Gaethje has. Fucking Jan Blachowicz has fucking far better wrestling than Pieta. Why kickbox against him? Why kickbox against a kickboxer? You even though you're good at yourself, you could have the size advantage. You could kickbox and you're strong. You have the huge jiu-jitsu upside and the grappling upside. Tony Ferguson with Bobby Green, grappling upside. Fucking Chiesa against Holland, grappling upside. Rodrigo de Lima against fucking Lewis, grappling upside. And they can stand on the feet. Like, Chiesa is not great on the feet. He's not going to be fantastic on the feet, but he'll get styled up against Holland. Ferguson can match Green on the feet, but Green is just good at winning ugly. Why get to there? Why get to that point when you don't have to? Same with that Poirier-Gaethje matchup. Like, Poirier will outpoint you. He'll even point out Gaethje. He will win that 6 out of 10 times if it stays on the feet. He's just going to have the better, cleaner boxing, right? He's going to have the better boxing. It's going to be there. He's going to outpoint you. Why make it a boxing match when that's what his means of victory is? 8 out of 10 times. Where if it's a wrestling match, he loses 8 out of 10 times, right? He loses that much in a wrestling match against Gaethje. You put him on a wrestling match, Gaethje's going to win 8 out of 10 times that wrestling match. You put him in a kickboxing ring, Poirier's going to win 6 out of 10 times. Gaethje is still good on the feet, but Gaethje doesn't have to do that. But he wants that exciting fight. He doesn't want to have that boring control. Let me just hold him. Let me pound him. Guys don't want to do that anymore. And I saw this change it happened when Pride died. I think when Pride died, a lot of the matchups of it being a one-dimensional fight versus a one-dimensional fighter ended, right? I think Pride, as well as some of these other places, they were staging fights in the sense that they always put a striker with a striker and a grappler with a grappler until the very end. Right? You didn't see neither of the complete fighters fought until the semifinals or the finals of the match. They did their best to keep the strikers with the strikers and the grapplers with the grapplers so that they could have a balance towards the end of each. Right? It was not fight fixing or whatever, but it was still different. You don't get that today, but we saw it with Kron Gracie, and that was just a poor matchup. Like, don't put Kron against a guy that could strike and has good jiu-jitsu. Right? Against Ilia Topuria, Kron would just crumble. And we saw that happen, against Jourdain. It just wasn't going to happen for him. He had a decent outing against Cub, but they should have put him with another grappler. Right? They should have given him somebody that was a pure grappler, more of a jiu-jitsu person, or somebody that didn't have great striking. He just made a poor decision on the choice that he chose of an opponent. Right? Like, that age is done. It's like Bo Nickel. It's like, don't give Bo Nickel a top tier. Don't give him Alex Pieta, for example. Don't give him somebody that he's nowhere ready for, like Khamzat, nowhere ready for Adesanya, even Robert Whittaker, Duplessis, Edwards. Like, he's not ready for those kinds of fighters yet. He thinks he is. He thinks he is. Oh, I damaged that. It's just a shame that these guys basically drink their own Kool-Aid. Like, the fighters and the coaches drink their own Kool-Aid. I think that's the longevity and success of people like Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz in particular, is because he never drank that Kool-Aid. He had coaches, boxing coach that was there to teach him the box, Cesar Gracie with the jiu-jitsu. Nobody was like blowing smoke up his ass. Everybody was just testing him, and he knew he had to get better all the way around, improving all these things. That his wrestling wasn't fantastic. He still could have done better in his wrestling. I mean, he got a little too confident in his, okay, I'm good off my back, but not against somebody that is a really dominant wrestler. He just doesn't do it to him, right? Like, he can't control them. If he can't get them in control position, they could just sliver out, get inside control, hold them, control them, avoid the submissions, just win points on ground control and ground damage. Tony Ferguson, like, did he have to, with Chandler, did he have to stay there that whole time against Chandler? At what point, if you're winning the fight, you're doing okay, that maybe you switch it up and you go to the ground, right? Like, he just never seemed to do that against anyone. And you saw that in that fight where he was getting his ass demolished. And, like, you see Bravo go in there and say, hey, a Mario roll. I mean, not necessarily the best advice, but what else are you going to do? Nobody else is giving him advice to do anything different than he has been doing. So at that time, I actually thought it wasn't bad advice. And even though Bravo thought that it was bad advice, he's like, what the fuck am I going to tell him? I'm not an MMA fighter. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. But he gave good advice at that time. He's like, try jiu-jitsu. Try something different. How about Amari roll into a takedown or to an ankle pick? Try something different. And no, did he try anything different? Nope. Went in there and just got lit up. And I get it. These fighters are so good at what they do, and it's not always the coach's place. The coaches, sometimes their place is to create that game plan, to help them train, to get their skills up, and it isn't go in there and tell them how to fight, right? We saw what happened with Diego Sanchez and his coach trying to fucking tell him how to fight when the guy absolutely knew nothing, right? It's a fine line, guys. It's a fine line. I don't know the coaching game well enough. I don't know the MMA personal game well enough. Even though I have been with people that train, that doesn't matter. It's completely different when you're a pro fighter. You're at a different level. Sometimes your skills, or at least your fighting ability, far exceeds what the skill was of your instructor. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're better than your instructor, right? Just because you can do like those kids that win the spelling bees and their teacher can't win a spelling bee, that teacher taught them necessary skills to get better at what they're doing, including the spelling bee or the math or the science contest. Just because the kid won a national science award, is going to Harvard, yes, is probably more intelligent than his teacher. He wasn't necessarily as prepared as his teacher is to provide information, give that guidance, and get that person set in the right path to become a champion or become a great student or win a spelling bee, et cetera, et cetera. You need coaching, you need teaching, you need a basis and guidance to get you where you need to go, and you have to be willing to listen to people. People might have to say, hey, you know what, that Amari roll you're doing, if you do it this way at this angle and you go quicker at it, or you dive into it instead of just roll, and then you dive again, you might get the takedown. Like, there's certain things that maybe someone's able to illuminate that you don't see. You have to be willing to be coached and willing to learn in order to get better at anything in life. And I see that as like the most debilitating thing of our new generation, is our new generation, people favor results over anything. So if I'm already winning, why do I need to listen to you? You're an old man. Why do I need to listen to that person when the way I'm doing it, I'm already winning? But eventually you're going to hit the wall. You're going to hit the wall and you're not going to be winning anymore, right? It's the people that are willing to learn, that are willing to accept failure, that are willing to be humble and graceful in the face of somebody that's trying to enhance their lives, that become successful. I was too long a non-listener. I'm doing fine. I'm making money on my own. I'm good at this. I don't need anybody else. You know, that shit only gets you so, oh, I didn't listen to anybody. I never needed anybody. All right, good for you. You could be the unicorn. Maybe that's just you and you got lucky that way. Good for you. You know, at this late in life, it's harder to find those good teachers. And I think that's the case for even these martial artists. It's, you know, to find the seafood or a good coach. It's really hard for them. That's why they switch around a lot. You know, it's hard for them to find somebody they can listen to, that's teaching them something a little different, where they could also, where they let their check their ego at the door and listen to that coach, as opposed to just constantly listening to themselves. It's hard, man. It's hard because you know, when you're successful at something, somebody else comes and tries to change what you've been doing something good at. You're gonna fight it. You're gonna resist it. But you don't understand sometimes that they're gonna open up that door for you to get to the next level of your success. And I think all in life and everything in life we do all of that so much in our personal lives as well as in our professional lives and in our sport. You know, like, just think about those dudes, like Joey goes to the gym, like, you know, people like my brother have been going to the gym their whole fucking life. And they're sort of doing the same thing all the time. There's not like I've never seen a drastic improvement in my brother's body, his physique, you know, anything at all. Like, he works out every day, but there isn't like this grand leap where I said, like, holy shit, man, what the fuck? What are you doing? You know, like, there's some people, even myself, like with my skateboarding and some of the things I've done, I didn't put in the work lately. I haven't been putting in the work lately. You're not going to get the results you need with the same work. Doing the same work all the time, you're not going to get the results you need. You got to put in you got to change it up a little bit. Khabib might disagree, you know? He might disagree. But that's not true, because that's why Khabib went to AKA, right? Does Khabib become a champion without AKA? Think about that as I get another beer. Does Khabib become a champion without AKA? Guys, the question was, do I got anybody in the chat here? Jesus fucking Christ. Anybody in the chat? Nobody's in the chat. All right, well, the question was, does Khabib become a champion with no chat, without AKA? And I think that's a pretty simple answer, guys. I would say no. I think the AKA already had a history of wrestlers that were coming into MMA, and they went there to really get or enhance their striking ability and develop a style that was going to be effective both for MMA and by grapplers. And I think that's what they developed over there. Even before Cormier was there. Shit, straight. All Even before DC was there, they had a history already of great athletes and great fighters going there, guys that knew MMA, that wanted to enhance their skills and went there. If AK wasn't a value to Khabib, then why did he go there in the first place? It's pretty simple logic. His father would have kept him in Russia, and he would have stayed in Dagestan, and he would not have been the UFC champion. They needed that environment where they were going to see other fighters from the States all over the world, where they were going to learn from a striking coach how to best utilize their wrestling skills with striking, right? And they had not just the coach there, but they had obviously other people there that understood the formula very well. And so, yeah, I think that Khabib needed AKA. You know, that just like Zabit was over there with in New York or was it New Jersey, and Zabit made the correct decision for leaving. Like, he was probably making 20 and 20 or 30 and 30. Like 60K, I might clear 60K next year myself, man. He's probably making 120K if he fights twice, 180K if he fights 3 times, and he's fighting for a living. I'm not even fighting. I'm gonna have to bust my ass. I'm gonna work a lot harder than he is to an extent, but not really, because they're putting in 8, 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day on the mats. People don't see that work that these guys put in on the back end to get where they're going, and it's not an easy life. Like, that's why you got to be partially physically gifted and then also put in that work, and it's not easy. Because if you don't get to that highlight time, you don't get to the Derek Lewis, the Chiesas, the Hollands, everybody that's at the top of that card is getting paid 60 and 60, 80 and 80. They're at the upper echelon of the pay scale, and they're like the smaller 10%. Like, they're really not the highest paid, and it's not an easy life for them. It's not an easy life to be a fighter. If I had the skills enough to be a doctor or to work in the medical field, I will do that. Why go and get my face punched in when I could actually just help kids, help adults, fix other athletes, become more of a, you could be not an orthodontist, but a person that focuses just on knee surgeries and joint surgeries, back pain, neck pain for athletes, and he's an athlete. It's a no-brainer. He's going to become a millionaire, just like Dolce was for his dietary ability, right? Smart guy, not the best fighter. He's like, but I'm good at the dieting. I'm a professional at this. I'm starting the Dolce diet, and look at that thing. That thing's worth. He's netted millions of dollars helping fighters lose weight. Became a nutritionist, cooking for them, guiding them in their nutritional needs. It's the same for Zabit. He could just be a doctor to these MMA fighters. And if I were an MMA fighter, I'm fucking hiring Zabit as my fucking doctor. I'm seeing him as much as I can. You don't need to know a fucking lick of English. We can fucking use Google Translate. There's technology. I'll fly out to him or fly him out to me, but that's going to be my doctor if I had the money. You know what I mean? Like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. All these guys with that money. The thing is, they don't have the money. They don't have the money. They look like they have their money, but they're all rented cars. I remember when Michael Johnson was driving a Bentley, like 5-6 years ago. He was driving a Bentley. He wasn't even a champion. He was driving a Bentley, had this Rolex, beautiful fucking gold Rolex, big chain, fancy clothes. He's on a losing streak, and he has all this shit. It's like, who should if I would have met that dude, I'd be like, dude, did you trade in that rental Bentley that you got? Did you quit that lease already? We'll quit that lease, man. Fucking set that chain you got right there. Put that shit in the safe. Don't even look at it. Don't sell it. You're gonna need that for a rainy day. That watch, same thing. Don't sell it. You overpaid for it anyways. Put it away. Don't even show people you got that shit. Put it away for a rainy day, because you're gonna need it. You're gonna fucking need all that shit because you overpaid for that shit, and you're gonna fucking get underpaid for it once you sell it. You're gonna get underpaid for all of it. Your house, your fucking chain, your fucking watch. Somebody like me is gonna come and you paid fucking 40 grand for that watch, and I'm going to offer you 10 or 20 maximum, and you're going to sell it. You'd have no choice but to sell it. $40,000 watch, somebody's offering you 10 cash on the spot, you're going to fucking, you're dropping that shit like it's a fucking hot mic. You're dropping that shit. You know, you're going to drop it because you got no choice. And that's the history of a lot of these fighters, a lot of people that are fighters. And you don't see a lot of old fighters around anywhere. Where are these guys? Where do you see them? They just disappear. They're not even in the streets. You don't see them in the Walmarts. You don't see them in the fucking anywhere. You barely see them in the gym. You don't see them, right? Because they just go into some exclusion, you know, something where I don't know what happens to them. You know, like, where's Miguel Torres? He was here. His brother was drinking, having drug problems. He had like a gym here in Illinois, I think in Gary, Indiana, he had a gym. I don't know if it's still there. Where's that dude Miguel Torres? You know, he was on the top of the game, WEC champion, making big money. I bet he's broke. I bet he barely has that gym anymore, right? Like, you don't even see him, right? Like, the fight game is brutal. It's not, I don't recommend the fight game. If you're an athlete, hell no. Like, even Hardy, I don't know why because Hardy was broke. He was an idiot. He probably spent all that NFL money. I don't get how you get that NFL payday and you fuck it all up, right? You fuck it all up, man. You make all these millions and you spend it. I don't get it, but it is what it is. And they deserve that shame. They deserve that where they're at. If you see these guys on the street, oh, I used to be in this. I don't even see them. You don't even see dudes like that. You never see them. Their lives have fallen so low. They're not only not on the radar. They're nothing. They don't want to even be seen because they're so embarrassed of how far they've fallen. It becomes such a, I don't even know, because I never met those dudes. I never met I met some ex-athletes, but they're at the top of their, you know, like the Darryl Strawberries, the Goodins, the, you know, people that had so much fame that they're still big, right? They're still big in the persona of sports, and they still make money. And even though they fucked up and squandered a lot of money with drugs and whatever, they still make money and they're still able to survive. But there's a whole slew. Why do you think you go to like that smart pawn, or you go to a pawn shop, they're like fucking, there's not just going to be a few Super Bowl rings there. They're going to have a couple trays of Super Bowl rings and World Series rings. You know, WC belts, those boxing belts. You have a fucking bunch of those. You could buy those things still. Why? Because those guys, not everybody's Manny Pacquiao or this guy from fucking the Seattle Seahawks who knew how to, you know, or the Shaqs. You know, it isn't that Shaq didn't fail. It's just Shaq failed enough that he probably lost enough money that he was like, well, I am failing at this again. And he made great decisions after that. Before he had Shaq's Chicken, he probably invested in 5 other restaurants that failed. And now he's finally got his formula right and he's going to make that money, right? But he had that ability to fail. Most fighters, most people, they don't have that ability. They don't have that luxury. They don't have that expendable cash. Like, all that money to us. Like, if you give me $100,000, I promise that I would make at least $20,000. At least $20,000 on that $100,000 in the first 6 months that I have that $100,000. You don't have to question what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to make you $20,000 in return of investment. If I had it, I could do it myself. Could easily do it. Once I grab that $20,000, I'm going to pay somebody else back, and I'm going to get $100,000 from them to then buy something or do something that's going to make me another $60,000. So I'll make $60,000 in that first year. You have to have that exponential, leverageable amount of cash or money to make money. It takes money to make money. Some guys do it. I believe these guys that started off at 10K or even 1K, flipped it to 5K, flipped it to 10K, flipped it to 20K, flipped it to 40K, flipped it to 80K, flipped it to 100K. I believe that shit. You could do it with MMA gambling. You could totally do it. I've done it. Not that much, but I've flipped decent amount of money where I double up, triple up. I always talk about that. I want to double up my money. If I have $1,000 to bet this night, at the end of the night, I want to have $2,000. I want to double up my money. I just don't want to win or break even. I want to double up my money. I want to have $2,000 by the end of the night, or $3,000. Right? I'm going to make $2,000 profit on my $1,000. I mean, that's what I try to do every night. If I gamble, I'm trying to double up, triple up, not trying to just win, not trying to make great picks. Like, I'm trying to actually make double what my money that I started with through gambling, through MMA gambling. That's it. And it can be done just with that one pick, man. To be, like, Wonder Boy by sub, as Brian would probably laugh. Wonder, you know what I mean? What that Wonder Boy by sub is going to be like plus 2,200. You know what I mean? You throw that $100 on there, and there goes your night, man. $100, you're going to fucking win, 2,100 bucks. You know what I mean? Like, you think that it's unlikely, it isn't going to happen. Next thing you know, it happens. You fucking played it. You bet the $100 on it. You get the spoils of victory. But what I've learned is Vegas is on me, and people like me. So everything that I know about MMA, that I know about MMA gambling, Vegas already knows now too. The age where I'm able to take advantage of miss lines or lines that are not like appropriate, those days are almost gone. Because they're still found. Like Joey hit Paul Craig by TKO at plus 1,200, right? Great pick. I would have been on Craig on the sub over Muniz. But he picked the TKO and it ended up hitting on it $50 at like plus 1,400, I think it was. Fantastic bet. He's been doing these great prop bets, which I normally was best at, but he's been doing some really good ones lately. And that's the way to go. Like, it's hard to make this money now just on the money line. Even on some prop bets, it's hard to make that money because things aren't happening the way they're doing. Distance props aren't happening the same way. Finding that one line and smacking it, that one hard line and taking that like, $100 on a fucking far-fetched, Holland by sub, or fucking Tony Ferguson by submission, Gaethje by submission, finding that one thing that Vegas thinks is unlikely to happen, that is actually likely to happen, and grabbing that is what where I'm at and where we're at this point. Because I'm not betting as much. My bets for the finally are down. I'm making like 3 or 4 bets a match, an event, and now there are these. I don't even mind. They're like these $25 plus $1,200 plus $1,400 gambles, and I have $100 spread around these wild card, not Lambo like parlays. Not Lambo props per se, but they're props that are like, I'm looking at like the best possible money at or likely prop that I think is likely or probable rather than likely, and then I go with that. I look at a number, I say, hey, I'm willing to bet, even losing the $25, I'm willing to lose it. Okay, guys, it's like, am I willing to take that $100 bet and just put it all in Khabib? What am I going to make with Khabib? Even Khabib round 1, even Khabib by sub. What am I going to make? That plus 100, I'm going to double up, but I'm going to make $200, right? If I bet Gaethje submission, or let's see in this fight, Rodrigo Nogueira de Lima, like round 2 TKO, whatever that number is. Or round 1, or round 2, or you bet the yes to go the distance, which I did recently. Everybody at Topuria, this dude, were expecting a finish. I went against the finish. I've been betting a lot of unanimous and split decision props where everybody thinks, like, in that fight between Lima and Lewis, I think it's going to go to a finish. But you're going to get juicy money on it going the distance. And you're going to get juicier money on one of those fighters winning by decision. If you put Lima by split or unanimous decision, or just unanimous decision, or him by decision, and you're gonna fucking make some money, right? If it goes to that, if Lima doesn't get that finish, which I think he is. I think that Wonder Boy finish is going to be good money. I haven't seen it. Yeah, so those are the plays I've been searching for and making more lately. Have I been winning all of them? No. I mean, all I need to do is hit one of them. One of the 4 plays that I make that evening, that's all I need to do is hit one of them, and I'm making a profit. And usually it's enough to cover it and more, like it's a decent profit. But I haven't been betting as much as I used to because I had to slow it down. The overtime slowed down, so I don't have that added income. Guys, always bet within your means. I haven't had that added income. Had this vacation I had to pay for just now. Still brought a little bit of money back, but I got the habits, I got the cigars, I got the watches, I got shit. It all adds up, guys. You got to bet within your means and come out winning on top. At the end of the year, you got to come out on top. I could go in front of anybody. I could go in front of all these guys and like put my picks and my money against their money, and I'm going to be fine. I'm going to still look good, if not better than most of them. Not just the cappers around, but other people that are like big gamblers. I just don't gamble at their level, right? I'm still winning, but they're winning more because they're gambling a lot more. And they're taking that big risk, I'm taking a big risk too. When I'm taking a $25 at plus $1,400, or $50 at plus $1,200 or whatever, that's a big risk still. Yeah, sure. Drake's able to put fucking $5,000, $500,000 on that same bet I'm doing and really make some money, but I'm not. It's all relative. So that's where we're at, guys. We're not. If you want to make money in the MMA gambling space now, it's fewer bets with your not just your margin of error. It's really what your profit margin is. What is your price index or your profit index compared to what you're betting and what you're wagering, right? And without doing parlays, without building these fucking 9 picks, the $2 to get to plus 20, 2,800 or whatever it is that you're gonna get. Like you're gonna win $2,000 on $2 bets or $3 bets. Those are few and far between. I've done it before. I've done some really big bets like that where I've won some incredible money doing the perfect parlay. I've done it, been there. I've only got like 3 perfect parlays in my career for the past fucking 5 years now or 6 years. It's not easy. It's not something that it happens a lot. Anybody that tells you it happens a lot is lying to you. Trust me, they're lying to you. They're lying. They lie more than Donald Trump, those people. People on the internet, in the gambling sphere, in this MMA sphere, big bullshitters. Including the ESPN people. They still show these people, this guy over there on ESPN, he's got a losing record. I think his percentages, a win percentage is like less than 20%. And they still put him on the fucking show. They still have him on there and they're paying him to give his picks. And he's 20%. Why? Because he's fucking losing. It helps DraftKings. Then again, if you play your cards right, and if you're managing your money right, like I said before, maybe your 20% win percentage isn't that good, but man, that one bet that you did hit that night out of the 5 covers all your bets and more, gives you a little profit. You still made money, right? Your win percentage is 20%, but you still, that one bet that you did hit won you money. You're still in the profit. So you don't have to have the best winning percentage in order to make that money. It's betting the right thing at the right price. Simple shit, guys. I'm getting frustrated because I don't hit him enough, and I don't think that it's not that I don't get credit for any of this shit. It's just that I don't hit him enough. So I'll hit that $125 bet, lose the other 4, still make money, but only make like $200 on the night. So I'll double up, but It isn't what I anticipated. I want to win all 5 of those bets so that I could make $2,000 off $100 rather than $200 on $100, right? That's what I'm saying, guys. That's basically all I'm saying. And we all want that. We all want that. We all want that success. We all want that meat. We all want that flavor. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. It's so hard to do, but you know, you get that taste of it. You think you get so close. You know, like all it takes is for Pat Sabatini to get that sub, you know, at plus 1900. You know, when he has, they said he had four sub attempts. The dude had like fucking 10 minutes of control time on the dude's back. Doesn't get the sub. I had fucking $300 on that prop at plus 1900. Right? Like, all he's got to do is get that sub, and that makes a week. That's like enough time. That makes up for almost a whole year of betting, of losing. That one prop bet right there. And it doesn't happen. Even though he's on the guy's back for fucking 10 minutes. It's there the whole time. It's there. Oh, and I can't tell you how many times that is the case in so many different fights. You know, I don't even shout anymore at the TV. I just bite my tongue and just look at it and watch. And just regret that it's just not going to happen. But it is what it is, guys. I think there's some like really good, I don't know the betting positions on this particular card, but from a fan perspective, this is a fantastic card. This card is the only fights I talked about, the top, all could be, like I mentioned, a fight night fight. They're fantastic fights. This card is fucking super fucking good. You're gonna have to look at some of the numbers. Hit me up in the comment section. Like, I'll let you know what I might bet, what I'm gonna do. There's no charts for it. There's no fucking Patreon. There's no fucking what's the other fucking thing? The join the fucking whatever, the other private chat. None of that shit. The Discord. There's no Discord. You know, come on aboard. You guys are all with me. You guys made it this far. You are about better. Fucking cigars are decent. Still burning good. Light sweetness. Lots of leatheriness to it. Not the chocolate and the oils that I prefer in a Maduro. I'm going to find that Maduro. I'm going to get that Maduro. We're going to talk about it. And I'm going to find it. And you're going to see it. It's going to be as dark as this fucking goddamn leather over here. It's going to be oily and chocolatey. It's going to have great flavors. I'm going to find that cigar. It's not a unicorn. I'm going to be able to find it. It's out there. It's been there already. It's in my palate. I can already taste it now. I have this taste and that longing for that Maduro. I'm going to find that Maduro. If I have to smoke every fucking Maduro in the world, I'm going to find that cigar again. It used to be like a Hoyo Monterey, had the best. Super chocolatey. I saw some Cohiba Maduros, Cubans, in Costa Rica last time I was there. Not this week because I didn't do that aspect of the trip. But, you know, I'm going to find that Maduro. Yeah, not bad, guys. Cigar, the beer was a 10 already. The cigar, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Just not very diverse, not complex. Yeah, the cigar's a 7.5 because of the lack of complexity. And by that I mean it's almost not quite monotone. It has a dual tone. It's more of a dual tone cigar. Has this light sweetness as a start, and it's a lot of leather. Like, there is no middle. That finish is leathery. Not bad, but just strong leather. Lots of leather with that light sweetness at the start. Even at the finish, the light oiliness, but it's too light. Like, I want the Maduro oils on the start and the finish, and I wanted to almost create a film around my tongue, my palate. I wanted to fill my palate with a lot of oil, and that's why as a Maduro, I might almost give this like a 6.5, right? I'm giving the cigar a 7.5 overall, but as a Maduro, I'd have to rate it lower because it just doesn't have the flavor set that I want or expect, and we can't always get that. We can't, always be prejudgmental and have this predeposition towards what we want in a cigar, but I do, and it just doesn't have that. Like, in a Maduro, it just doesn't have what I'm expecting, what I'm wanting. And is that a failure on my part? Partially, yes, but also from my knowledge and experience of certain cigars, it should have or want to have certain things. I'm looking for that Maduro. I'm gonna find it, guys. I'm gonna find that thing. It's gonna happen. If anybody needs me on their cigar channel, let me know, or beer channel. Sponsors, I'm looking for a sponsorship or cigar reviews. Any cigar company wants to send me cigars or review your cigars, be careful. I'm very honest, and I'll give you a review. They won't, because they're gonna send their cigars to somebody else, one of these other, like, Cigars Daily, which I don't mind. General Cigar has a great channel. The Davidoff people have a great channel. I haven't been looking at any of the other smaller channels myself to give you any sort of idea of negative or positive feedback, even on the watches. There's just a lot of information out there, and a lot of people have good information. I would say that a lot of these people don't have bad information unless they're being paid to promote or given product to promote, and then instantly right away just seem to lean towards like why it's a good product rather than not. Like, then right away, if immediately all they have is positive accolades about a product that they were sponsored or they were given to provide feedback on, then you have to question the legitimacy or the objectivity of that particular channel. We don't do that here, guys. We don't have that here. We don't have that luxury. Yeah, okay, so as far as picks go, just off the cup, shooting off the hip, I like Justin Gaethje by decision. I think it's gonna go all the way. I really wish I could take, I like Gaethje in that particular matchup. I like Chiesa over Holland by submission, just shooting off the cup. Again, I'm not betting these yet. Just off the hip, just running and gunning. I'm liking that pick. I'm liking Rodrigo Lima by submission or by TKO. And TKO by strikes is almost like a tap. By strikes is still is that a submission? I don't know. If you tap, it's a submission, isn't it? Even if it's by strikes. Let me know, guys, in the chat if that decision or if that outcome is different than submission per se. Because once you tap, that means you submitted. So you tap out by, win by tap out, which is by submission, in my opinion. But we'll see what the judges say, what gamblers think. But I think Lima takes that. I like Tony Ferguson by submission. I really think that he has that grappling upside. Let's see that 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, please, Tony. Bring that 10th Planet shit. Bring that fucking shit to this match. Roll, roll, roll. Wrestle and roll. Because you're not going to win a decision against Bobby Green. He's going to outpoint you. He's going to outstyle you. He's going to make you look bad. You're not going to look good against him. Do not stand and trade with him. Grapple, grapple, grapple. More than grapple, jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu. You have a huge jiu-jitsu upside. You're a fantastic jiu-jitsu practitioner. Let's get that sub victory, Tony. And I'm gonna pick Tony Ferguson by submission. Hopefully, there's a big number there. If it's not, I'm gonna avoid it. In fact, any of my picks, there's like if it's just plus 250, I'm not touching it. Right? I've been talking to you guys. I'm not touching. I'm not even throwing $25 at the plus 250. It's gotta be that plus 800, that plus 1,000 kind of shit. That's the prop that we're looking at. That's the shit that we're looking at right now, guys. You know, Wonder Boy by decision. Yeah, Wonder Boy by decision. I don't think he's going to finish Pieta. I think Pieta has the finishing upside, but Pieta's going to stay there, want to style. He's going to want to be Karate Kid against the Karate Kid, and that ain't going to work. He's going to get out Karate Kid by the Karate Kid, and I like Wonder Boy, especially that dog money or that dog decision money. You know, we'll see where that's at. On Bonfim, one of the Bonfim brothers, I forget who's he's fighting. Yeah, Trevin Giles. Giles has that jiu-jitsu, lack of jiu-jitsu, can get submitted. Decent takedown defense. But there's got to be a good number there. So, who else? Oh, Chiesa by submission. Look at that number. Again, all these are off the hip. Not playing them. I'm just thinking of playing them. Got to be a big number behind them, or else I'm not touching any of them. I'm going to enjoy this card as a fan. Let's talk about potential, plays in the chat. I mean, in the comment section. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are doing. I'll comment back. Otherwise, as if you've made it this far, you are about better. You're all about that betting. You're all about that making that money, enjoying yourselves. You made it this far. You're about better. I really appreciate you all. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to talk about down the card, or else, because we can talk about other stuff. I haven't even seen it. The computer's off. I can't even read your chats. I don't even know if anybody's in there. Nobody's in there. That's fine. We're still enjoying a beer. Still enjoying a fine cigar. Enjoying the sun. Right? I should be skating or doing something else rather than just sitting on my ass over here. Getting too used to doing this shit. Sitting and smoke shit. Even this is becoming a little bit of a garbage time. I might have to hang it up even here. Somewhat of a waste of time, but I like living like this. I like having a good cigar. I like having a good smoke. Good beer. It's a good day. Life's been good. I'm still doing all, above ground. I'm living good, man. Every day is great. Every day is great, man. Every day is great. Was at the beach, living in a different culture, eating different food, meeting different people. World traveling, living that passport bro lifestyle. Good. It's been good. Life's been good, guys. Good life. Things are going to get better. I need that overtime to get better, or we got to fix something else to make that overtime maybe better in the game. But we got to start making a little bit of extra money here and there, so that things could shape up, get a little bit better. So, but yeah, if you made this far, guys, again. Modelo, cigars, real news. Where's real news been at? I don't know where real news at. Where's real news at? Where's real news? Shout out to all my other guys, Ron's, Blood Money Bets, my boy Uncle Weezy. You guys know what time it is. Everybody knows how good it is. Johnny K Picks. All these guys out there struggling, grinding hard, helping people out, making some money. I appreciate all you guys. Keep up the good work. Come like and subscribe. We'll see you guys on the back end. Have a good week this week. Let me know what you guys are doing in the comment section. I'll definitely try to reply. But as always, if you made it this far, you are about better.